people, it's me, your parenting expert, Mma Okoye. Welcome to my channel at Parenting Issues. Mma Okoye is a guidance counselor, a teens coach, a parenting expert, a licensed and certified early childhood educator. Today on Parenting Issues, I want us to look at two critical issues of parenting. And what could that be? Before I talk about that, where is Mommy Zara? Where are you going with that Ken? Oh yeah, bring it, drop it, or say so. Where is Daddy John? No. Just drop that Ken. Drop that Ken immediately. Okay, so I guess you know where I'm going to. I want to talk about punishment and reward in parenting. Punishment and reward are special tools parents can actually use in behavior modification. There are tools parents can actually use to make their children behave in an acceptable way. While we were growing up, a lot of us saw shege in the hands of our parents because they used more of punishment. And when I mean punishment, the only thing that comes to our mind is flogging. But today, if you try to use that method our parents used, you will end up losing our children. And that's the aim of this video. That's the aim of this enlightenment. Now, I want to encourage every parent to use more of rewards than punishment. When you talk about ratio of reward to punishment, let reward be higher than punishment. So talking about punishment, there are many ways to punish a child. We have the flogging, which all of us know. You can withdraw some privilege. You can tell them to go to bed on time. You can, when I mean withdrawal of privilege, I'm talking about maybe their TV time, their screen time, their outing time, and all that. So when you want to punish, make sure you punish the person that committed the offense, not all of them. Then you also need to have age appropriate punishment. You don't flog a child as if maybe a child that just broke a plate. Maybe the child admitted breaking that plate and you are flogging the child like the child is an animal. So you don't do that because there are psychological effects to punishment. One of the psychological effects is that when you continue doing that, at a point it will lose its effectiveness. The child gets used to it and continues doing that bad behavior. And so after all, you flog me and that's it. Then sometimes it can make a child become so fearful to the extent that the child will not even be able to communicate with you again. The child will have things bothering him or her, but the child will bottle it up because you have put in this fear in that child. So the child is always very, very afraid. It can also make the child's self-esteem to go down. Yeah, it can also reduce the child's self-confidence. So if you want your punishment to be useful, if you want your punishment to be productive, because you have reason why you punish, you make sure that when you punish a child, endeavor to call that child, sit the child down and tell the child the reason for the punishment, explain the reason for the punishment and reconnect immediately. That's very important. It baffles me that some parents will punish their children and still keep malice with their children. How can you keep malice with your own child? Parents do that. Keep malice with your own child just because you punish that child. So that is not it. That's a sign of very, very poor parenting. So punishment has its own benefits and its own negative effects on the child. That is why I said use less of it. And when you use less of it, anytime you punish that child, the child will be like, for mommy and daddy to punish me this way, what I did is actually wrong. But when punishment becomes something you do every now and then, the child gets used to it and may not even understand the reason for the punishment. The child may take it as wickedness. And once the child takes your punishment as wickedness, you have lost it. Before I go over to reward, let me remind you that there are two ways you can punish a child. One is positive punishment and the other negative. In the positive punishment, you are adding something to counter the child's behavior. I don't want to use psychological terms. That's why I'm using a layman's language. The psychological term, we call it adding unpleasant stimuli to an undesirable behavior. You see why I don't want to use those terms. So what it means that you are adding something to an undesirable behavior. So when the child behaves badly, for example, the child disrespects you, you can now add punishment like kneel down, hands up, and all that. That is adding an unpleasant stimuli, because that kneeling down, hands up, and you wash the plate for 1 week, you are adding something to that undesirable behavior. So it will make the child not to bring out that behavior again. Then the negative punishment is the one where you remove a pleasant stimuli to deal with an undesirable behavior. What do I mean by this? I always don't like to use big terms so that everybody will be carried along as long as this teaching is concerned. So this means, for example, you take your child to a store where you want to buy toys. Immediately the child starts throwing tantrums. That toy is something you wanted to give the child, you remove it. That is removing a pleasant stimuli, because that toy is pleasant to the child, and as you remove it, it is not acceptable to the child. The child will know that next time I do not need to throw tantrum when we go to the toy shop. I'm just giving this as an instance. So let me go over to reward. I need to adjust to talk about reward. So reward is very important, is very essential in parenting. In fact, I use more of reward than punishment, and it is yielding positive fruit. Just imagine you as an adult, you are working in an office and your boss sees nothing good you do. There is nothing good about you. The only time your boss comes out is when you behave badly, and he will lash you a query. But all the while you've been coming early, you've been putting up everything very well. Ordinary appreciation, ordinary, oh, Ma, you did so well today. Oh, thank you for doing this very, very well. Thank you for organizing this very well. That encourages you to do more. But when your boss do not see those things, the only thing your boss sees is when you came late, when you did not keep the files well, when you messed up, and query follows you, you will not feel good. Same with children. So when you are parenting a child, always notice the good things they do. There are two types of reward. We have the tangible and intangible reward. The tangible reward is when you buy gifts, like in school, they give awards, they can give cash award and all that. So for parents, when you buy gifts, when you buy things to reward that child, that is tangible. Then the intangible is when you praise, when you say, okay, this week you have 10 stars. For the very small ones, I mean the early years children, you can say this week you have 10 stars. One of them, because you did not cry in the church today, you have 1 star. Tomorrow, because I told you no and you did not throw yourself on the ground, you have another star. When you are doing that, the child will want to win more stars for the week, and maybe at the end of the week you celebrate the child. You'll be like, oh, you have so many stars. That's for the very young ones, I mean the toddlers and the infants. But for the teenagers, adolescents, and older children, you can use praises, pecking, pet name calling, and all that. There are many ways to, you can even throw them up in the air, carry them, spin them around. Those are intangible rewards, but they pay very well. So you can make very good use of the intangible rewards, because you don't need to buy any of them. You don't need to spend a dime to get any of them. They are just there inside you, trying to smile at the child, trying to hug the child, trying to pet the child. Those are rewards. So when you do that, the child will always want to receive that type of reward, just like every other human being. Whenever we are praised, we love to receive that praise more. That is natural with children. Children are not exception to that. So when you make good use of reward, always see them doing good, always catch them doing good and praise them. You go out, and by the time you come back, the house is well arranged. Notice it and praise them. You go out, by the time you came back, nobody fought, nobody quarrels. Praise each of them, hug each of them. Then for the little ones, you went out, he or she did not embarrass you by crying anyhow, by throwing tantrums. When you come back, praise and appreciate that child. So these are ways we can reward the children while parenting them. Now, you need to strike a balance between reward and punishment. You don't overdo it. You know when to use each of them and use them in an appropriate way. Then you need to do age-appropriate punishment. You need to make reward higher than punishment. Don't punish more than you reward. Reward more than you punish. In that way, you will be able to modify the behavior of your children. Remember, the aim is behavior modification. The aim is to teach them values, teach them self-control, self-discipline, and general life coping skills. That's all I have for you for now. So remember to subscribe if you've not done so. If you have any parenting question, drop it on the comment section. I'm open for booking virtual sessions. If you need a guidance counselor, a parenting expert to mentor your child, counsel you on your parenting problems, I am available for that virtual sessions, but it goes for a token. It goes for a token, it's not free. So that's it. Until I come your way next time, continue to be a good parent and continue raising those jewels very, very well, because they are the future generation. And moreover, you need to rest in your old age. It's very bad that you hustle in your young age and still hustle and still cry in your old age. God forbid. May that not be our portion. So you need to start now, start early, do the right thing, and you get the right result. See you in my next video. Bye.
Thank you.